Resident Evil. Sorry, that was my bad attempt on trying to get the title screen, the narrator from Resident Evil. Anyways, in this review, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys this figure inside of the box. I'm not going to take him out. I mainly just wanted to share with you guys this Mr. X figure because he is so badass. And Resident Evil's by far my favorite video game series. But this figure, I can't take him out of the packaging. As much as I want to and to display him, I can't. And it kind of hurts me because he's sitting on my wall, and every time I walk past it, I'm like, damn it, I want to take him out and display him. But honestly, like, the pose he's already in, it's good enough for me. Because if you've played Resident Evil 2, and honestly, if you have not played Resident Evil 2, stop this video right now and go check it out, because you can pick that game on everything. The PS3, through the PlayStation Store, the GameCube, obviously the regular PlayStation, on the computer, emulate it. I mean, if you have not played this game, please just stop watching and go check out that Resident Evil. It's one of the best games. In my opinion, it's one of the best games ever. I'd say Resident Evil 3 would be a close second. If not Resident Evil 3, then Resident Evil 2. Like, they're both neck and neck. But anyways, this Mr. X figure, he follows you through the entire game of Resident Evil 2. And well, it's on the second playthrough. Like I said, if you've played Resident Evil 2, then you know who Mr. X is. You know that you encounter him on your second playthrough of Resident Evil. And just his presence, he's just a badass, just slowly walking after you. And if he catches you, he's gonna mess you up really bad. But yeah, just an all-around badass character in the game. So naturally, I had to pick him up. And I picked him up for a decent price on eBay. If you really want to pick him up, he's going for around like $50. And honestly, because this is an older figure, it was made by Palisades. I think I'm saying that right. Palisades. Just an older company back in the 90s that made a lot of video game figures, Resident Evil obviously included. And this was around basically competing with McFarlane. McFarlane was doing a lot of the movie tie-in movie type figures, and then Palisades threw their hat in the ring and made it a few video game figures. But in my opinion, the Palisades figures are a little better. They're articulated. They're actually well articulated, and then the sculpt is just as good, if not better, in my opinion, than McFarlane. I wish they were still around. But yeah, let's just show. I just wanted to show off the figure as best as I can without taking them out. So as you can see, he's got that gray skin tone, of course, that we saw in the game, which goes naturally with him. And then he's got the white eyes. Just complete awesome how they did it. And it's just awesome how they, no paint smear, no nothing. And it's amazing because this figure, it was marked at, regular price as other figures back in the day when this came out. So it's sad that these companies nowadays, like Hasbro, Mattel, they put out all these figures and they use the same body sculpts, they use the same paint and all that. And I mean, sometimes they knock it out of the park with some figures like we've been seeing, but then other times they just get really lazy and cheap. But I mean, look at this. This was a regular priced figure back in the day, and look, you could see his leather's all battle damaged. There's just creases in it. And then you can see the Umbrella logo right there. Awesome how it's painted on. Just how small detail that is. Like, it's not smeared or anything. It's really detailed. And then you go down, and the metal that they put around where his wrist is, you can see it right there. Like, there's a wash to it, which is awesome. And then his fist has the black fingernails and the gloves. I mean, they could have just put, made the fist and not painted the fingernails, and it still would have been awesome. He's got his worn belt, and it's cool how they did it. And then I forgot to mention, like, these pegs. Just right there. And that's detailed nice. And then we go down. And then the boots are just this whole figure is just detailed nice. And then he includes an extra set of hands, which are also detailed nice. And then if you can see in back of him, he comes with a base. And it's basically just a brick looking base with Resident Evil on it. And of course, give you the details of it. Mr. X with alternate hands and logo base. And then from this series, you were able to pick up Alexia Ashford in her mutated form that you fight her. She's in a Resident Evil Code Veronica, or Code Veronica X. And you fight her in this mutated state. And then we get a police zombie. And then, of course, Mr. X. And then Claire Redfield. Which I actually did. I picked up Claire too. And I, of course, will be doing a review of her in the not too distant future. And as you can see, Series 2. So let's flip this around. And then that's just a breakdown of how the figures look. Now this Claire Redfield, this is actually the plain version of her when she's not battle damaged, and you can see she's still got her vest on. I picked up the battle damage version, which is all bloody and she's missing her vest. And the reason for that is, of course, because of price-wise. I picked the bloody version up on Amazon for, it's like 24 bucks. And again, to be honest, the Claire Redfield figure is going to be the cheapest of all these figures to pick up. You will end up spending around, I'd say, a good 30 bucks and under to get her. I wouldn't spend any more for her, because she's detailed, she's awesome, but she's not as good as the Mr. X figure. And then Alexia, and then the police cop with liquor. And then if you want to take a second, pause that and read it. And it's awesome that they gave just a little detail, a little bio of Mr. X. It's just a shame that Palisades, I know I'm saying it wrong, Palisades, it's a shame that they did go out of business. They, like with any other company, they went bankrupt and that was it. This Nemesis figure, Nemesis is also, I would put him over Mr. X. Nemesis is by far, I would say without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite villain in any video game series. Nemesis he is a complete badass. And again, if you haven't played Resident Evil 3, that's on everything. So stop what you're doing, go play Resident Evil 3 right now. But Resident Evil 3, it's a little bit harder because Nemesis runs after you. He runs after you and he will mow over everything just to get to you. And there's some instances when he comes at you with a rocket launcher. You know, he's not like Mr. X. Mr. X just walks through the whole game until you fight him at the end. Mr. X just walks and he'll do his punches and everything. But Nemesis, he'll run after you, punch you, grab you, and then kill you just in a second. But anyways, this Nemesis figure, I think Nemesis is probably the most expensive figure to get, and it's a damn shame because I'd want to get Nemesis over anything. He's just, if you haven't seen pictures of the Nemesis figure, just check him out. He's awesome. And then Albert Wesker is another cool figure that I would like to get, but I like Wesker. He's a cool villain, but Wesker, he's another one that's going for a lot of money, and there's no way I'm gonna spend, $100 for him. I believe with the Series 1, we got Leon, a zombie, and a hunter, if I'm not mistaken. And again, and then we got Chris too. But those figures, I mean, it's just nuts how these figures are commanding such high prices. And I was lucky enough to get Mr. X and Claire Redfield for the prices that I did. I'm surprised they weren't in the hundreds, but for some reason Leon and Chris, they command like $80 to $100 prices, which is, that's just ridiculous. Frickin' scalpers, man. So that will about do it for this review. I just wanted to show you guys just this badass figure. Again, I'm not gonna open him. He already looks badass in the packaging as it is, and I really wish that they would have given us, like how we get with the Marvel Legends and the NECA figures, and generally all these collector-friendly boxes. I guess that's the word I'm going for, just a collector-friendly box. Because, I mean, once you open this, that's it. And again, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because I mainly display my figures open. But there are a few instances where I'll keep them in package. This is one of them. Same thing with Nemesis. As badass as he is, if I got him, I wouldn't take him out of package. It's just, it's too, more of like a childhood memory for me. Like if I was gonna, if my house was burning down and I only could grab one figure, Mr. X would probably be the only one I'd grab because it's that type of figure, that type of memory for me. So that will about do it for this review. As always, if you like what you see, leave a comment. If you haven't already, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And that will about do it. Have a nice night and see you guys in the next video.